We hate Obamacare. Made by Canadians. 51 Canadians. It took 51 Canadians to crash a website.
Look, I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings, but I'm only going to get this one chance. Something's wrong. I can feel it. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen, but I don't know what. If that means what I think it means, we're in trouble. Big trouble. And if he is as bananas as you say, I'm not taking any chances. You are just what the...
After many technical difficulties, we can finally welcome you to the...
Blame Obamacare for this.
This is the Forum Thread Podcast number 31. Welcome, everybody.
We hate Obamacare.
Obamacare!
I don't hate Obamacare, I just hate that website.
It is a pretty shitty website.
Made by Canadians. 51 Canadians. It took 51 Canadians to crash a website.
The good news is, if you listen to the updates from the lady that runs the company or is the representative of the company that does it, every time she says, it's a little bit better today, or something along those lines. We're like,
One more
that's
person
just
signed
your
up.
way of not admitting that it's completely shit. Congratulations. However, I do feel for her, though, and that company. And if you look at what they're trying to do, it's actually kind of historical. Like building a website that can communicate with all these other insurance companies' websites all into one, and like I don't want to say it's the designer's fault that dropped the ball. I don't think they had enough time after they were told what they needed to do, because that's going to be buggy as hell trying to do something like that. So I kind of feel for them, and I feel bad for that company because they're going to get all sorts of flack about it, but it's just kind of a shitty job.
Well, it's not their fault. It's the head of the I forget her name now. The person that's administrating the whole deal. It's her fault for not having any beta testing on the site. You know, not doing anything but just saying, okay, we're gonna blah 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 blah. Okay, here are the sites. Okay, fuck it, we'll do it live. And you release it. You release it to 300 million Americans. You know, the day you go live. That's like the beta. There was no beta testing. It's like, what the fuck do you think was gonna happen? You know.
They could have taken a lesson from the gaming industry on that.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Stress tests or whatever, like they did for ESO.
But what I loved most about it was, and you know, I think most of us that come on the Forum Thread podcast are neither claim to be Republican or Democrat. We're kind of
Republican.
We're gonna have common sense, except for Nobot, of course, who lacks sense.
Yeah, Nobot's the only idiot here.
But
and then you're like,
except for
nobody was
yeah.
about to get.
So anyway, but I think most of us can say we all have a little bit of common sense when we talk about politics. We're not too political savvy, but what gets me the most is that when this whole disaster happened, the Republicans are like, "See, Democrats are stupid," and see the other side was the Democrats were saying, "See, everybody wants free health care," and those of us that are tech savvy are like, both of you are just stupid. It was just not done right. The site was not prepared for that kind of load. I mean, I'm sure the main server in Washington that was handling this shit was probably like covered in dust and had like old Windows 98 stickers on it, and they said, "Oh, this will be fine."
Yeah, that's one thing you could say. Like with how retarded a lot of these politics are, or the politicians are. Like, they don't know diddly or squat about computers. They're probably like, whenever they sit down to access a file or something, like, I'm gonna get my magic machine to tell me something.
Yep, exactly.
And then they have to have someone. They're like, hey Nathaniel, come over here. I need you to get the magic machine to give me what I need.
Yep.
You type the buttons. I don't know how.
You showed me how I can look at my checking account. Now what was that magical page I had to went to that I can look at my checking account? Or
transfer all money to this.
I picture them to all be frightened of technology, like my grandmother is. Like we got her a computer, or not we, but the family had gotten her a computer, and it kind of sat there for a while. She never touched it, and I played around with it for a little bit when I was younger, and then it just kind of disappeared one day. I'm like, what happened to your computer? She's like, oh, I gave it away. I'm like, I didn't know how to use it. I'm like, you didn't even try to learn how to use it. And like, you're just afraid of new technology.
Yeah. I worked at Office Depot in college in the technology department, and I remember the one thing I hated was when the older people, the adults, the retirees came in looking for computers, I would be like, oh god, because I would essentially be selling them a $2,000 machine to play solitaire on. That was it. And
yeah, my grandmother did know how to play solitaire, and she knew how to play hearts, and she knew how to play spades, and she knew how to get to them from the start menu. That's the extent of her computer skills.
I missed when they added a pinball game onto Windows.
That was what 98, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like almost always had pinball.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
I don't have it with this one. I had to save it on a thumb drive and bring it over. Because I had a feeling they weren't going to have it when we updated, so I've just had the old pinball in my old saves, like in one of my.
So your
folders.
biggest complaint is they didn't have pinball.
They didn't have pinball. What burns Chaos
just when it
Biscuits like
comes to
nothing
the
else?
games.
It's when you don't put pinball on the goddamn
This
computer
is
when you sell it to
madness.
them.
So it's
Oh, now I wish I still had screenshots of my old high scores back when I had pinball on my machine, and I would send them to you and say, "Have you beaten my score, bitch?" And then he'll
Oh
look.
goodness, probably not. The highest I got is like maybe it was either 6 or 2 million. Whatever you score, you're usually at after you complete like one set of objectives.
That's a shame. What were you saying, Mr. Fusion?
No, I was saying, first off, good evening, everybody. I know we jumped into the making fun of the Obamacare website, but Halloween's tomorrow. Everyone be safe. Don't get any candy from strangers that have razor blades in them.
And
Strangers
thank that
with
old
razor
lady
blades in
who's
them.
handing out those little boxes of raisins because she's trying to keep you healthy.
Exactly. Well, no shit, nobody. You see, when I was a kid, which was many, many moons ago, the urban.
You were a kid?
At one point. No, actually, no. I
You
just
put
popped
razor
out of the-
blades in your strangers?
No. Well, I did that, but
It's
I think we're getting a little confused here. But the urban legend was you always knew someone that got candy that had a razor blade or a
somebody?
needle in it. And see, when I was a kid, I know now you guys have the little. Well, not you guys because you're too old for fucking Halloween anyway. But for trick or treating,
Well, I can fuck on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But you know how the kids nowadays have the little bite-sized candies, and it's cheaper for people to buy those. When I was a kid, you got the real candy bars. When you got they give you a Snickers, it was a Snickers bar, you know, and
Yeah, they have these really tiny ones that most of them aren't really.
They're called fun-sized, but I'm an advocate
It's
of
not
changing the
very fun.
name to tease
yeah,
size.
exactly.
Not
You know,
so
it's like when you're all turned on and you're in the mood, and then whoever it is, if it's a woman, like she just like shows you one of her shoulders or something. If it's a guy, he like shows you a little bit of the pube region. You're like, oh, I know what's coming next, and then he's like, okay, that's it. You're like, what? What? You can't stop there. And yeah, that's kind of how the fun-sized candy bars are. It's just enough to tease you, and then you want more. For Halloween, I guess that works, though, because you have a whole bucket full of candy that you can eat after that. But still,
But see, imagine being a kid.
the point of the matter is, should not be called fun-sized.
Exactly, I agree. Imagine being a kid, like when I was little, and getting a bag, like a big shopping bag, full of candy, like full-size
Oh.
bars. I mean, just think about that. No wonder my generation's just so fucked from like a health standpoint with like
An
diabetes,
orthodontist's worst
heart
nightmare.
disease. Exactly. It's just because I mean they gave us huge, but like I was saying, the urban legend, you knew someone who knew someone that they found a razor blade or a needle inside one of those candy bars, and I'm 35 years old now, and I don't think I've ever actually seen a razor blade or a needle in a candy bar. So. I don't know.
Well, the trick
But
is,
why would you do that? What does that accomplish? If you
It
put
just
that
goes
in
with the
there?
whole idea that people are just, the people are just fucked in the head, because the other scary thing was, okay, in Austin, 6th Street is the big party area, in case listeners haven't known or heard yet.
Yeah,
6th Street
that place is some.
is like the bomb. It's where, when you're young, it's the place to go because there's bars everywhere and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they actually close off 6th Street during big holidays like New Year's, and Halloween is really big. Something like 110,000 people usually pack into that little area and they party out. It's a madness. It's hard to even get anywhere, and the bars charge like $30 for cover. But every year, I lived in Austin for about 11 years. And every year you heard the story that the year before someone was on 6th Street and got poked in the back with a needle that had AIDS in it. Every year you heard this story, and working in the media out there, we never could confirm anyone ever got stabbed with a needle, a syringe that had blood that had AIDS, the AIDS virus in it. We never, but I mean, it's just how people are. You ask why would someone do that, or why do people think that? Because people just want to hear these crazy stories,
It's the scary thing.
yeah,
like
definitely.
as we entered into the modern age, we've lost most of the like mystical scariness, like of ghosts, werewolves, vampires. Like it's they're so commercialized, glamorized, and in this more slightly more scientifically driven culture that we have, you just don't have these things to be scared of. There's no mystery. So like now you have to kind of come up with your own ways of being scared. So you have like the zombie thing is the biggest craze because there's so many people living so close together that we're already kind of scared of each other when like the lights go out. So what happens if everyone suddenly dies but isn't really dead? Like you're suddenly surrounded by a whole bunch of people that'll kill you. It's so that actually has relevance to the culture that we're in.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think the same thing applies with what you're talking about. You don't have like the Jack the Rippers anymore that's going to come out on Halloween. Instead, you have AIDS, which is really scary if you contract it. So it's a modern day.
What are you for Halloween? I'm AIDS.
I'm AIDS. You've got to be HIV first before you can be AIDS.
That's
okay?
very true.
So you have to be HIV one Halloween and AIDS the next.
That's pretty intense. No, but I agree. Yeah, you're right.
That's my theory, anyway. It makes sense in my head.
Well, yeah, it's just like how a lot of at least the origin, like there's definitely a lot of stories that are literally only made up, but most of the creepypasta stories that are spread around the internet had a lot of
What's the deal with these creepypasta stuff? I've heard about them, but I have not heard any of these creepypasta stories. Someone please enlighten me.
Yeah.
I don't. It's basically fan
well,
fiction
it's stories
stuff,
that
fanfic writing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing. That's the,
writing in different tales about like
Well, that was underwhelming.
gathering all the details for a different place.
Chaos just isn't a very good
Well,
storyteller.
I think I just lagged out there, so I can't even tell what actually.
Remind me to never ask you anything ever again.
You know what, Dark? You need to go to the creepypasta site and just they have their little Halloween edition now, so you can go on the site and read a few of the.
Oh, there's a website.
Yeah,
okay.
no, there is. It's creepypasta.com, and that's the site where I found out about the Legend is was the Legend of the Legend of Zelda the haunted cassette. Was that on creepypasta?
Oh yeah, we featured that podcast like
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 podcasts ago or more.
Yep.
It's hard for me to keep track of these things. I'm usually drinking.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one of the ones featured. That was fun when I was able to have that going.
Yeah, that was. I mean, because I think that's where I read it. It was on creepypasta, or it may have been like a gaming creepypasta site. But creepypasta is where I read up about the whole Slender Man thing. And if you go on there, you'll find. I think they post the original story, and it's. You could tell it's just an amateur writer doing it, but it's still an interesting story. Like you said, we just want to get a little scared.
Is it truly the one written? Is it truly the one written by Jedusible?
I don't know. I think so.
Because probably other people have made things from it, but unless it was his exact story, because it was a well-written and at least supplemented
But
story.
I thought the original was on the creepypasta site for at one time. I may be wrong.
Okay. You'll have to forgive me, but every time you say creepypasta, I'm hearing. Do you remember those creepy crawler commercials from the 90s?
No, I don't remember. Nobody.
I do.
Creepy crawlers. I'm hearing creepypasta said in my head the same way. Creepypasta.
I sadly know what you're talking about from old movies.
I don't remember what the forums were called, but it was like on these other IGN or something, like literal gaming forums, and this guy was like, he was documenting it as the videos.
Oh,
were
it was
being
on the
released.
Something Awful forums. That's where it was originally posted.
That was it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
it was the Slender Man was created in a contest launched on the Something Awful forums on June 8th, 2009 with the goal of editing photographs to contain supernatural entities.
You
So-
pulled it up on Wikipedia,
Yes,
didn't
I
you?
did. Yes, I did.
That's why he's wrong.
There's a big debate going on now about whether or not Wikipedia is a credible encyclopedia-esque type reference.
The answer was no. The answer is still no.
I mean, I think the credibility level should be somewhere around like 40% for Wikipedia.
Yeah, so what their solution to this problem was, because they said the same thing. In its
Well,
current
I
state,
think-
no, they're trying to, but they want to make it more reputable. So they actually have these, what do you call it? It's to improve all the information they have on drugs and all the chemicals that go into drugs. So they have, I don't remember which school it is, but all the medical students there, a part of their job as students is to update all the articles on the Wikipedia about the drugs that they are going to have to prescribe when they actually finish their medical training. So who better than to correct all this wrong information on drugs, drug interactions, what the molecules are, blah 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 blah, than the ones that actually are learning about it and are going to practice it. So that's like step one that Wikipedia is trying to take to improve its credibility.
Uh-huh.
I'm playing the
So I
worst
thought it was
dude in
kind of
chess.
interesting.
I'm not even trying to win.
Yeah, nobody
You know-
has a hot game of chess going on. He's getting his ass beat.
It's not even. I'm not even trying to
Yeah.
win, and this dude's just making it like he's trying to hand me the victory. While
You're
I'm doing
playing
the same to
Bobby
him.
Fischer. That's how you're playing. He's gonna kick your ass. He's gonna come back and just wipe.
I bet this guy wants to lose, and so he's trying to get you to win so he can feel that sense of loss. He's probably a very mentally disturbed person, and he's probably going to try and figure out what your IP address is so he can send something to your house. If we don't hear from Nobot ever again, it's because the guy he's playing chess against murdered him.
Sweet. That's a good. That's a really good Halloween story. I like
Oh
that.
god. Oh my god. Look. I just.
The game
your
is
IP
coming
address
from your
encrypted?
house.
I do not know what he's doing.
The phone call is coming from in your house. What?
It's coming from
Oh.
inside the building.
I have to say, okay, this is the first time in a few years I've actually watched one of the horror
Yo.
movies that came out this Halloween.
Uh-huh.
I watched the
Oh,
Carrie
boy.
remake.
The one with Chloe Moritz or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
I actually kind of enjoyed it.
I'll have to make note of that. I just watched Kick-Ass 2 a couple days ago. It was,
I haven't seen that yet. Is it? How would you think?
It's okay.
Yeah, how was
It's
that?
okay. I will tell you
That's
this.
why I haven't seen it
Well,
yet.
they did rush the movie out because you saw Carrie. She was what 12. She is like growing up quick. Like she is a woman now, and
Well, yeah, girls mature faster than guys do
yeah.
anyway.
But if you watch Kick-Ass, the first one, and then the sequel, you can just holy shit! She looks like a completely different person, But she was very good as Hit Girl, but the script just wasn't right. I mean, I read the comic, and the comic, I will admit, I really didn't even like the Kick-Ass 2 comic. It wasn't that good. So, going into the movie, I wasn't like pleasantly surprised or just disappointed because it was just okay, And the movie was kind of kept it pretty close to the comic, and it was an okay movie. I mean, Jim Carrey was funny in that. I mean, as Colonel Stars and Stripes, he's pretty hilarious. But other than that, it was kind of lacking in emotion. It just kind of seemed lost. So
That's a shame because the
Yeah.
first one was so good.
it really was.
Like I had like a happy-gasm by the end of the first one.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it was a good movie. It really
Okay.
was. The
yeah.
next one.
I can't even describe it. It was just like complete ecstasy. I'm like, holy shit, that was a fantastic movie. Like that, I can't describe it anymore. That was just my feeling. Like I was just in such a happy place after that because whenever I see a fantastic movie and it catches me out of nowhere, it just puts me in such a good mood.
Well, did you come in expecting it to be like bad?
I didn't know what to expect. I knew nothing about it. I had never seen the comics. It looked like a strange premise, but my best friend Danny, she wanted to go see it, and she said, why don't you come see this with me? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go see just about anything with her if she asks me to, even if I'm not that interested in it. And we both wound up like laughing our asses off through most of it, and by the end we were like, that was a fucking awesome movie. I'm so glad we saw this. And so, like, instantly, the first day it came out on Blu-ray, I bought it. I'm like, yes, now I can watch it anytime I want.
It was a sleeper comic book in that it took a lot of people by surprise how good it was, and so when they did the movie, I was really happy to see it because they kept a lot of it to the movie. The movie kept a lot of the comic book in it, but at the same time, it had its own adaptation. Like that's the fear with like a lot of comic book, a lot of comic book nerds. They want to just be so overly critical of a movie because a lot of people will be pissed off if they deviate too much from the story. But then again, if they keep it too true to the story, there will be a lot of people complaining. So either way, you're not going to make everyone happy. Same thing with like The Walking Dead. They've deviated so much from the comics going into season 4 that it's pissed off a lot of the comic fans. And I really don't care because I'm not a big fan of The Walking Dead. It's an okay show. It's just it did the first season it was really good, and after that it just seemed like I don't know. They just because they keep having all of their showrunners quit. It just what's the point? They're just people are just being kicked out by AMC anyway, so fuck them. So, but Kick-Ass 2, okay, wasn't great. I think I also have the Wolverine. I need to give a view. I haven't seen the Wolverine yet, but I did want to say
I didn't want to see that.
The trailer for X-Men: Days of Future Past came out yesterday, and that looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
Wait, you didn't see the last Wolverine?
The Wolverine? No, I didn't see it in theaters, so I'm gonna give it a view here at home pretty soon when it comes out.
I saw
it wasn't that bad, especially since I hadn't seen any other one. Like that was my first and only Wolverine movie.
What?
It was not bad.
I disown you as a friend, Chaos. I'm sorry.
But Days of Future Past, that could be it could be either a very good movie or it could be hot garbage. It's one of those.
Well, X-Men First Class was surprisingly good, especially considering the reduced budget that they had to work with.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it was great because The Last Stand was just god awful. I mean, Brett Ratner just.
Oh, I pretend like that movie didn't even exist.
Well, and I think we kind of briefly touched on it on the whole thing, but the way this movie is going to take place, it takes both cast from Singer's 2000s X-Men and the First Class are going to all be tied in together. And I think with Singer directing this, his whole point of it is to kind of just erase some of the shit that happened in The Last Stand, like, Jean Grey killing Professor X and all that crap. That just kind of just threw it basically screwed it screwed Fox from making future movies where Professor X is has to be a pivotal character.
Fox likes to do that.
Yeah. So I think, I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday when they released the trailer. If you're not a comic book fan, one of the new characters, his name is Bishop. He's this black guy from the future where it's a dystopian future where mutants are hunted and they're put in camps and stuff. So
That's fun.
I think what may happen is they're going to do 3 timelines where Bishop is in the very future. He comes back into the 2000s right before X3 happens, but right before The Last Stand happens is when he comes into their timeline and he prevents Professor X from dying. And I think that's the whole point, is that they're trying to clear up a lot of that shit, and at the same time all these old characters get their send off, and the First Class cast will be going forward. So it's kind of a sequel to both lines of movies, if that makes sense.
Well, they did leave the third movie open to have a different professor, like because if you watched after the credits, like, he's not really dead. His mind is just been transferred into somebody that was like in a coma in a hospital.
Well, yeah. So how are they going to explain it? Because it's Patrick Stewart playing Professor X in his body again. How are they going to explain that? I don't understand. The other thing is, and if you remember this, Dart, in The Last Stand, General Bolivar Trask was this giant fat black guy, in Days of Future Past, it's going to be Peter Dinklage playing Bolivar Trask. So I don't know how they're going to retcon this guy from being, a 6'2", 300-pound black dude to a 4'1" white guy. I don't. I don't know.
We'll call it an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Marvel's good at doing that.
Okay, I think
it's kind of like.
I think we're gonna have one more joining us right now. Let's see.
Oh my God! I see Indy Renegade.
Let's see.
Trying to join the call.
Actually, there's probably like 5 more of her.
She said she was ready to go.
We cloned her like
listening.
Insinuating something else, but so anyway, back to what I was saying. So there's 3 potential timelines in that movie. So that's where I'm.
Yeah, I'm super skeptical. Yeah. But wait, who owns this movie? Is it Marvel or is it Fox?
Fox still. And that's the reason why people are so pissed off, but that's the reason why they keep pushing movies out, is because they want to keep the movie rights to the X titles.
Yeah, because they were close to losing them again, and that's why they spit out the Wolverine movie, and that's why it was so
Yeah, because Well, that's why they fast-tracked X-Men Origins X-Men Origins Wolverine, because it was 2006 and it had been 4 years, and then they released the Wolverine or whatever last year because they wanted it. And that's what happened with people don't know this, but Daredevil, the rights to Daredevil were owned by Fox too, but since it's been 10 years now since a movie, they've let it lapse over, and so the rights have gone back to Marvel and Disney for Daredevil. And
their Daredevil movie bombed pretty badly too.
Have you seen the director's cut though?
I think I did. I remember thinking Daredevil was not that bad of a movie. I rather enjoyed it. Now, Elektra, I thought, holy shit, now this is a fucking mess.
Yep.
But I did enjoy Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil.
But it just didn't. It didn't do well though.
Daredevil, the unrated version, makes sense of the character a lot more. It's a little darker, and there's actually a thicker storyline going on. I think the theatrical release was just way too thin. I think that was the big problem.
Well, yeah, at that point in time, we hadn't had the success of all these really long and arcing storyline movies. At least that were comic book related. We were still they had just had the first X-Men movie. I don't know if the second X-Men movie had come out yet, but we had yet to hit our stride as a society and culture for the big superhero movies of the modern era. So it was kind of an odd duck.
Yeah.
The fact that it was kind of a mixture between the old school and the new version, and it just kind of was weird. It was good, but it was just kind of weird.
You're right.
The way it was set up.
No, you're right, because that was right after X-Men, and then all the movie studios were buying up comic book rights because and actually I was reading an article today, and did you know that none of the X-Men movies have topped over $600 million in box office?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, worldwide. That's crazy because the Avengers alone did $1.5 billion, and The Hobbit.
Something like that.
The Hobbit did $1.3 billion last year. So I mean, it's just crazy.
But if you look at the quality behind those movies versus the X-Men, I have a soft spot in my heart for the X-Men. I watched the cartoons religiously as a kid. And that's the main reason why I was so devoted to the first the third one came out. It just kind of broke my heart. I'm like, oh, this was utter shit. But yeah, looking back at the movies as an adult, I find it really hard to watch a lot of the X-Men movies just because they were not crafted with the same sincere care and love that Thor was, and that the Avengers were, or the Iron Man series was. There's a level of quality in those movies that is lacking in the X-Men series, and I think that's why it doesn't do as well, why they don't do so well. If they actually had the same care and detail that Marvel clearly puts into constructing their movies, then I think the X-Men movies would do much better.
Yeah, it's. You said it. You're a big fan of the X-Men, the cartoons. Growing up, I still am a diehard X-Title fan in the comics. So, watching what's
happening. All those VHS tapes you had to get from, I don't remember what fast food restaurant it was, that would would give you the VHS tapes of the X-Men, and my uncle, he had all of those, and so we were constantly like watching them whenever we went over to his house and trying to get him to let us borrow it. And then it came on Netflix, and I'm like, yes, X-Men is on Netflix now.
Have you ever seen X-Men Evolution, the high school version of them? It's actually very good.
I've seen a few episodes, but I was kind of out of my cartoon watching stride then.
Yeah.
And then I rediscovered my cartoon watching stride with the reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually enjoyed them, even though they were drastically different from the 1980s. And my sister, she doesn't agree with me at all. She's like, the 1980s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the only real one, but I really liked the new, darker rendition of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I didn't actually watch the new X-Men then, because it had already been out for a while, and it wasn't being talked about a lot.
Yeah. Well, that one is on Netflix too. So, if you ever want to give Evolution a try, it's really worthwhile. So, who just jumped in on the call? Who is that?
Well, if I could get a word in edgewise, Dark.
Yeah, come on, poser.
Yeah.
I know you're not afraid to open.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, but I figured I'd let you have your glory. I'm here.
That was nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Indie Renegade.
Woo! Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
I'm happier because my internet's dying.
Yeah, you kind of sound like shit.
You sound
no
like
offense.
a dying.
And Nobot's doing his best impersonation of iOS with the clicking and the typing.
Clickety, clickety.
You hear nothing coming from
And
him
we're
except
probably gonna have
clicking.
to lose our stream. He has to leave at this time, and mine's still being dumb, even though it's updated. I don't understand.
It's all good.
Took this dude long enough.
Yeah. So what's going on, you guys?
We were talking about the X-Men.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I was playing
Well, then
chess.
why'd you ask what was going on?
To see if there's anything aside from the X-Men that's possibly going on in your
Oh,
small little
Minecraft
world.
having flowers. That's what's going on.
Minecraft.
That is
having-
big
Minecraft
news.
has flowers. so
Lots
that's
of
compelling.
flowers. Lots of
Lots of
flowers.
flowers?
Yes.
Oh wow.
They had a new update. They added
Like
like
sunflower, daisy,
peonies,
tulip,
lots of different types
Oh,
of tulips.
they actually added some variety.
They replaced the roses with poppies, and then they created a new bush or a new plant that stacks too tall. That's called rose bushes. So you actually have really tall rose bushes instead of just the little short roses.
Foray.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
They did it for
adds
Ray.
a lot to the game. No, they did it for me.
No,
Oh,
they
for
didn't.
me.
They don't even know you.
I haven't actually played
Never mind, they're actually big
Minecraft
fans
in
of the
quite a
TFT
long
podcast.
time.
You know what? You can just go away. No one really misses
Yeah,
you.
just Ouch.
Really?
Man,
Alright,
y'all
I
are
will.
cool.
I don't hear anybody saying, "No, that's not true. We missed you." No.
That's
No one's
not
coming to your
true.
I'm
defense,
actually going right
nobody.
now, so goodbye. Goodbye.
outta
No,
here.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
But leave Twitch open.
Well, bye.
GTFO.
Well, bye. All right. So,
Well, who knows? Maybe I can get it working.
what's going on in the world of indie?
Yeah,
I
do
just-
tell.
Got out of work and I didn't get yelled at on the phone here today, so that was great.
Wow.
That's good
Didn't get
news.
yelled at?
So,
That's awesome. I didn't get
so
yelled
Dark,
at.
no, Dark, you need to yell right now. You need to fill in that gap that's missing.
Andy, what the hell are you doing?
Me? Nothing.
Yeah. I just needed to
I'm
yell at
actually
you.
about to play a game of League right now while I'm talking to
Ooh.
you guys.
That's multitasking, folks. That's what that is.
You know what? You know what?
Okay, so I have a
She's
question.
got
I'm
the
going to be
mad
doing the Extra
skills.
Life event this Saturday, Sunday in Austin, and I need.
Are you gonna actually be on the mic?
Yeah, well, I don't. You know, here's the thing: is that Grady, the mastermind behind Rooster Teeth side quests, has been saying for the past 3 days that, oh, today I'm sending out an email with details. Today I'm sending an email out with, and I have yet to receive an email with details, but. I don't even know where it's at in Austin. I don't know if it's going to be at his house or if there's a location, like a venue, because there's supposedly like 20 some odd people in the side quest group that are going to be going to the event. And I would like to thank everyone that has taken the time to donate, because my base goal of $200 was met last week, And I am actually at $425 right now, so...
Double what the goal was.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think the SideQuest team is currently just under 90% of their goal. I'm going to say around 80-ish. So, Extra Life and We Are RT SideQuest, if you want to donate. By the time this podcast comes out, though, it may already be too late. But depending on...
For those of you listening on Twitch, go donate.
Exactly. Well,
go do it now.
So, for those of you that don't know what what Extra Life is,
You don't know what Twitch is. How are you here?
Hey, you don't know what Twitch is? How are you on Twitch?
I don't know. I just
What?
got on Twitch.
How does one Twitch?
So, Extra Life
Wizard.
is the gamer community joins forces to have a marathon of gaming 25 hours straight. And the goal is to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. What is that, you ask? That is local children's hospitals. Like here in Houston, it's the Texas Children's Hospital. In Austin, the Dell Children's Hospital. So if you go to the Children's Miracle Network, you'll get a list of local children's hospitals. And, well, most of the time, sick kids, injured kids that need surgery and treatment, they go there because for some unknown reason, the family cannot afford their care and their treatment. And most of it is covered when they go to the Texas Children's Hospital or the Children's Miracle Network. Well, you know that, nothing is free in this world, so they rely on heavy donations from generous people, and Child's Play is particularly the Penny Arcade guys, which, I love them to death, and they started up a group called Child's Play a few years ago that I have donated to since its inception, and it's one of my favorite charities, where you purchase toys and games on playlists on Amazon, and they ship them to the hospitals where these kids want these games. And, when you really think about it, when they're getting their treatments, their surgery, and all the care, it's very taxing on them, and they want them to keep a positive and strong mindset. Well, these, having the toys and the video games, they serve as a good distraction from all of that chaos, even if it's just for not you, Chaos, but from chaos in general.
Yes, from him.
Chaos, this is all your fault.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, they're trying to avoid you, dude. But it's a good little distraction.
So
that's why I'm banned from 50 different areas.
Yes, you are.
to me, it kind of sounds like this is the Ronald McDonald House for gamers.
Well, it's not.
little
It's
bit,
not
yeah.
for gamers, but the gaming community, like with Child's Play and Extra Life, it's the gaming community basically saying we're going to be doing something other than having the stigma of being fat, chugging down Mountain Dew, eating Doritos, and playing games all day. And we actually can do something worthwhile.
So we're gonna play games all
But
day.
in honor of it, we're going to be playing games all day. Yes. So.
Exactly. Doing what we do best for the better of somebody else.
Exactly. You know what? Some
Yeah.
90-pound woman that has no ass and no tits can go run 50 miles for charity. God bless her. She can do that. Well, you know what? The fat ones that don't want to get off their butts can still do something for charity too.
We could sit on our fat asses and
See,
still
now there's
make
no
money.
excuse. Now there's zero excuse for us anymore. We can't be fat and sit on the couch anymore. We have to game for others now.
For Extra Life, you can just have like a Minecraft session and like 20 different people all log on a dark server at once.
Well, actually,
my.
Oh, I would
we're
hate that. I would hate
there.
that.
I mean, the deal is that you don't have to game for 25 hours or 24 hours straight.
Oh.
The thing is, you're just doing it, and it's kind of solidarity. It's across the country. Gamers are just, it's a solitude thing where hey, we're all gonna be playing games, and you can donate throughout the events. Like we're gonna have a use on Ustream. We will have our own stream from SideQuest's party, and we'll all be on microphone doing games like. They want to play Rock Band, which I don't do Rock Band. I don't do Rock Band because
Fusion.
of Hero. No, I'm
You
sorry.
need to do
why
Rock
is Rock
Band.
Band still a thing?
It's not a thing, but
It's not
See, here's
really
the
a
problem
thing
That's the
with
anymore.
Rock
point. They're
Band
doing
is-
it because it's not a
Exactly.
thing.
Well, the problem with Rock Band is that if you play it too long, it becomes robotic and it becomes unfun.
I just really,
Nonsense. It all depends on the people you're playing it with. If you're playing it by yourself, well, yeah, of course. But if you're having a few drinks and you got a lot of people that are just as entertained as you are, it's a lot of fun.
no,
I
like,
still enjoy playing
hold
it.
on, like Naked Rock Band
But I
is
don't
something
play well with
completely
others.
different from Rock Band. Okay, I just want to say that. So if I'm talking
I
about
don't play with
Naked Rock
others.
Band, that's okay. That might change.
Naked
my
Rock
that's the
Band
Rock
is
Band I
just
play.
even better than the original Rock Band because you don't have to wear clothes. Clothing optional. Clothing optional anything is always 100 times
Exactly.
better.
So will that start after like 8 p.m.?
The event starts Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to Sunday at 8 a.m. We will actually be going from 11 a.m. Saturday to 11 a.m. Sunday. I guess Grady didn't want to wake up early enough to start the stream, but we're gonna be in Austin. You can go to the SideQuest website. You just go to Google and type in Rooster Teeth SideQuest, and there's information. If you guys, anybody in the Austin area or wants to travel out there to hang out, there are a few tickets still left. If not, we're not the only one. I mean, you guys know this. The Rooster Teeth cast and crew will be doing their own 24-hour stream from the podcast studio set, and they're going to have everybody coming and going throughout the 24 hours. They're different than us, though. They're too cool, so they don't have to do 24 hours straight. But
Sure thing, Grandpa. Let's see you do it. Let's see.
you know what? You can make.
Your eyes will be gouged
Make the
out after
make the
like
grandpa-
2 hours
I'd like
of
to.
staring
I
at the
seriously,
screen. It's
I
going
could
to
do it, but I
suck.
seriously
You know
like
that,
to see
right?
some people like you, or maybe Bernie and some people do
I
it.
mean, make all the old guy jokes you want, but the old guys are gonna dominate this. Bernie's gonna be out there for like 10 hours straight. Watch, and I'm gonna beat 10 hours. I'm gonna go like 20 hours straight, just for the hell of it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
You show them.
So, no,
are you gonna actually be able to?
Pixar didn't happen.
am I actually gonna be able to
That's
what?
it.
Be alive?
Oh yeah.
Or are you gonna be just
I took Monday. I
still
took
play?
Monday off, so I'll be okay. But they're gonna have a Minecraft server. We're actually gonna be on stream
Really?
playing Cards of Humanity, the actual deck.
Not bad.
Grand Theft Auto 5 online, Halo tournaments. So
So are you allowed to like switch games, or is this an all day like you choose a game and you go with that game?
no. You're allowed to switch games, and I'm actually, like I said, I'm waiting for word from Grady on how our setup. Those of us that are going to be on the stream, how our
Okay.
setup's going to be. If I need to bring my computer and my Xbox, what's going on. I would prefer if I'm going to be playing like Minecraft or some PC games, I want to have my PC
Yeah.
there, especially if I play some ROMs.
Exactly.
Like if I want to play some NES ROMs, I want to play them on my PC. So I'll be bringing.
This
my
is
rig.
true.
So
Yes.
Not bad.
but anyway, if you folks are not doing anything Saturday, you can always jump into the stream, join, and it's not just us. You can go onto the Rooster Teeth site and see several different groups are doing their own streams and their parties, and it's not like you have to be in town to do that. You can join the event and play along with us. Like, if we're playing Grand Theft Auto, you can jump on. If it's Minecraft, they'll give out the server information and you can jump on and
It
play.
is a social event.
That's the whole point of it.
That's not bad.
It's a social event and it's for a good cause. They raised over $2 million last year. The goal is to break that. So
That's cool. I was just gonna say, because if you had to play like Minecraft for 25 hours straight, I would gouge out my eyes. I couldn't do it.
you know what?
What?
Yeah, I agree.
I like
could.
Minecraft.
I
Here's
totally
the problem
could.
with Minecraft is that it's a great sandbox game, but only if you know what you're going to build. If you have nothing built, I can't play it. Like, I need to go in with a purpose.
That's why Minecraft Ticket is so ideal, because not only do you know what you want to build, you have so many things you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
It's
Understand.
madness.
This is madness.
My problem
Sparta!
with Minecraft is I don't get too into it in terms of I just kind of check out when I play it mentally. So after about 3 or 4 or 5 hours, I'm pretty like almost baked. I'm just my mind's melted. So I don't think 10-15 hours of Minecraft will do me any good. It probably won't be very healthy. So
Oh,
It just wouldn't become fun at that
no.
point.
I meant to tell you, Mr. Fusion.
What up?
I relocated the building you made on my server to under the water.
Oh, you flushed it. I knew. I went to it. I'm like, where's my house? And you put it
It's
underwater.
still there. It's just under the water.
Surfer Master, where's my
Where's
house?
my house,
Where
dude?
is it?
Like it looks pretty badass because he hid the lava, behind those blocks of
Glass.
of glass. So you have under the water you have this glowing lava panel that says fusion across it. Like it's pretty badass.
What I need to do is do a top layer as well. That way you can just see it on top. I gotta finish.
Wait, so why'd you
Island.
move it to the water?
He had it hovering like on the top layer of the water, and I'm like, this would probably look really awesome if it were like sitting on the bottom of the water, because it's got his name. In,
So wait,
in
how
lava.
did you put it underwater? Were you able to move the whole structure?
Yeah,
Oh,
I created a block around it with my magic wand and then moved it.
sounds.
I'm not being facetious
Or
either.
dirty,
It
yeah.
is it is called a magic wand.
I was gonna say, yeah, that sounds pretty raunchy, but okay.
Yeah. / wand gives you the wand.
But well, okay, cool. Now I know where it is because I think I logged on briefly not too long ago, and I was like, where the fuck is it at? And that's when I put all those chickens in your house.
Oh yes. I killed all those chickens, by the way. It took me a
killed them?
while. I killed them. I had lots and lots of feathers and chicken meat afterwards.
Nice.
Do you remember that one super lag spike that me and Ray caused? We were just going crazy.
With all
spawning
those
in the air?
squid. The time that you guys put we put all those squid over by your big shell thing.
Well, yeah, that one's a different one too. But no, it was way before that. Like we kind of crashed ourselves out of the server, or at least me out, because we just had so many stuff on this one little tiny platform.
Nice.
Yeah, Ken was complaining the other day. I told him with the new update there were more fish now, and he's like, "Oh, really?" And he takes his character and like jumps into the water. He's like, "I don't see any fish." I'm like, "No, you don't see the fish. You just catch the fish when you go fishing." He's like, "I want to be able to see the fish," and I say, "No, you can't see the fish. It would slow the server down. It's a good thing you can't see all the fish yet."
It would be kind of cool to make like this giant aquarium.
It would be cool if they just had like an animation, like it wasn't actually connected to a live fish being there, but just kind of every now and then the animation makes it randomly, oh, there goes a fish,
Yeah, that would be
sort of
interesting.
thing, if the water was deep enough.
That would be interesting. Oh, before I forget, Mr. Fusion, since you did your pimping for your charitable cause,
Yeah.
I have a less noble charitable cause myself.
All right.
I have recently discovered this YouTube channel, sponsored by TestTube, and TestTube, I believe, is owned by the Discovery Channel. It's called Pick Your Poison, and let me scroll down.
This sounds
here.
relevant to my interests.
Let me scroll down here and I'll give you the description. I wound up watching every single episode that had been posted on this in one sitting after I watched the first the most recent episode, and I loved it. The description is: ever wonder what would happen if you came into contact with ricin? Or what happens inside your stomach if you ingest salmonella? Or what happy place does your mind go to after you've been bitten by a crate snake? Pick Your Poison is a weekly web series that tackles these questions and more. In each episode, our host, Annie, gives you all the information you need to answer the question, which poison would I rather be infected with?
So it's
And-
basically just like Mythbusters, but poisoning yourself.
Yeah, and so each episode, it's not necessarily poisons specifically. It's a lot of different things. Like the most recent one, she covers Deadly Nightshade, which I think is considered poison. The episode before was that street drug crocodile, the one that makes your skin
Street
fall
drug
off.
crocodile?
Yeah, it's from Russia, I think. Then before that, she did like lead, and then like how much caffeine it would take to kill you. But each episode is only about 3 to 4 minutes long, and it starts off with this really cool like throwback music that feels very 1960s-ish, and the way she talks about it is very upbeat about all the different things that's going to happen to your body if you ingest these toxins. And then the second half of the show, which is like 2 minutes in, she says, "So you've just been overdosed on whatever drug it is that she's talking about, whatever the poison is. But here's the good news." And so then she'll say, who else in history has been poisoned in the same way, or if this is a more unique way to go, or one of them was like the bubonic plague or something like that, which was kind of interesting, or what the hell is it called? If you fall into like a sewage pit, you'll die from the gases that accumulate over the sewage pit. I don't remember what that gas is called, but one of those was associated with a meteor impact, and that's kind of what killed everything. Like it covered the whole globe in this toxic gas. It's like, so yeah, if you actually do get killed by one of these things, you'll actually fall victim to a world killer, and that's kind of interesting.
Indy, you don't know what crocodile is?
I know what a crocodile is, but I heard
you've not heard of the drug crocodile.
Oh,
wait,
drug?
what?
The drug,
Crocodile.
it's spelled Krokodil.
I thought we talked about this on the podcast a few weeks back. Okay, it's that drug.
It makes your skin get all scaly-like.
No, it
and
rots
then it
your
makes your
flesh.
skin fall off. It literally rots you from the inside out because it's
hydrocodone cut with
Okay,
gasoline
so it
and
turns you-
hydrofluoric acid.
So it turns you into an Argonian at first, and then it kills you. Okay, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, and
Cool.
because it's very potent like heroin because it has hydrocodone, and it's very cheap because it's cut with gasoline and hydrofluoric acid. Poor people are buying it.
the life expectancy of someone who starts using it is less than 2 years.
Yep.
See, there's drugs you just don't do.
Yeah, if you pretty much
Yeah.
if you do it, you're really stupid. That's one of the reasons why I think it wound up on this show, because it's one of those things that when you start taking it, it is gonna kill your ass. It's just very slow.
And the pictures that they show of people, and it's very depressing and gross at the same time. And I mean, you look at people; they're missing like parts of their limbs, arms like rotten in half, and I mean, it's just
And it's
You know-
much more addicting than regular drugs too.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why it has such a high mortality rate. Is that you can't quit.
well, not only that, but
So
you're
is it-
injecting
so
gasoline and hydrofluoric acid into your body. I mean,
Well, besides all that, is it a designer drug, or I mean, it's got
no, it's just
if that's the
cut
case.
cheap.
It's
So
a
it's
cheap
just
street drug.
bullshit.
Yes, a cheap street drug.
Okay. Alright, so
But
so
anyway.
the type of thing that you're a dumbass if you use anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that goes without saying. Don't be retarded. Don't do.
But anyway, the reason I wanted to mention Pick Your Poison on this podcast is the most recent episode, the Deadly Nightshade one. She is asking at the beginning, like, I'm assuming she's running out of funding from whatever little bit the Discovery Channel is backing to try and get more viewers. So the average episode usually has somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 views, which is pretty low. And so I was like, I really enjoy this show, and I don't want to see another a good YouTube channel just kind of die off. It's educational and it's kind of entertaining, and I would like to help it find an audience. So, like, we'll link in the link dump to this, and I just want everybody to kind of check it out and see what you think about it, because I really enjoy this. And in the most recent episode, the one about Deadly Nightshade, you learn why witches are associated with brooms and flying. It's kind of shocking, actually. So definitely watch that one.
I like the way you laugh right after that.
I mean, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. I'm like, say what? What? That's how that myth started. You need to watch that episode, educate yourself, and be amazed. Like, I will never be able to look at a witch riding a broom the same way ever again.
Because you see those flying past just every single day. Whatever.
Especially this time of year, you see the pictures of the witches and then Harry Potter, they all ride the brooms and everything, and then like when you watch this and you realize, oh, that's how the whole witches riding brooms and flying thing started. It puts a whole new spin on it. So watch that episode.
I will watch
That's-
Deadly Nightshade this evening.
Yes, that's my pimping that I'm doing for this show for the day. It's my good deed for the day. Woo!
I say this like figuratively. It only has 509 views. I mean, I would love 509 views, but still, that is kind of low. So okay, well, everybody give her some love.
Yeah, I think that one
That
just
didn't
came
come
out
out right.
today. The one.
But yes.
Well, I'm not into girls, but she is rather attractive looking for a girl. So if you like blondes, then you could give her some love too. I don't know if she'd complain about that.
Oh, she's a blonde sister like me.
She's banging.
Or at least, well, she's a color your hair often sister.
She's
probably.
easy on the eyes. I will say that.
Okay, so what's the name of the show again?
Pick your poison.
It's called Pick Your Poison.
Oh, I have a look at this film.
She looks familiar.
Aren't I a douche?
She looks familiar.
It's like let the judging commence.
I know. Does she get the Indie Seal of Approval? USDA grade.
What's her name? Her actual name?
Her actual name is. Let me scroll down. Annie Goss, Gaus is her last name.
Okay. Is she the one with the Choose Your Own Death Ventures show?
Yes.
Pick your poison. Okay, now this is it, right? Let's see.
Yes.
Lumosity, I hate you. Go away.
The plague can still kill you.
Yes.
Okay, now, you know what? She talks about botulinum toxin, botulism. Did you hear about this shit? You know that a strain, basically what Botox is, it's botulism that's just a thinned out, a weakened strain. Well,
Yeah.
apparently, and I read this last week, apparently there's a new strain of botulism that is, all it takes is something like 1/5,000, I can't even say it now, 1/5,000 of a gram to kill you. And scientists are refusing to release the DNA profile of this strand because they don't want it to fall into the hands of terrorists.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox die.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that you should just not release to the public.
Well, that's
ever.
one of those things where you're like, fuck, why did we have to discover this?
Know this.
It's like, fuck.
Yes. Why do I have to
Like,
be
God
aware?
damn
of
it,
this
Steve.
thing
Why do you have to be so
that's out there?
fucking smart, Steve?
Yeah. Why?
Good job, Steve. You're going to kill us all. And he's like, I'm sorry.
God, Karen, you're such a bitch. Stop it. Stop discovering shit.
So, okay, well, I will make a note to watch Pick Your
Fuck you,
Poison
Karen.
this evening.
Good.
Yeah.
I have done my
Yeah.
job well.
Yes. You are a master promoter. I said master promoter.
Not masturbation.
It turns out that he's actually the director behind this show.
What? No, that's not me.
Yeah, you're right. I did notice there were a lot of flowers in the background, so...
And it at you. Yeah.
Yes. So,
That's part of its charm.
So it's been kind of an odd week because we're pretty close to the Xbox One release, and several people have been.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
several people have been asking who's buying one. I'm waiting. I know we've talked in detail about our disappointments or whatever about the Xbox One and the PS4, blah blah blah, ad nauseum. But I think I just want to say I'm gonna wait. I decided I think
You wait to see what happens, basically.
yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
I'm gonna wait for
waiting.
that first wave to come out and all the those major bugs to be ironed out after Christmas. I may get one probably late January.
Oh yeah. I don't assume that anything like that's gonna happen, but it'd be funny if just as soon as it launches, like it's like another Red Ring incident, like every single one shuts down or something.
I have a feeling that this is just an inkling that I've got, but I have a feeling I'm gonna be so wrapped up playing Elder Scrolls Online. I'm not gonna give two fucks about the Xbox, PlayStation. I'm just gonna be, on my computer, exploring the world of Cyrodiil. No, whatever.
Tamriel.
Elder Scrolls World.
You're going robot
what I'm
dark
planning.
on us.
Yeah, you're just What happened?
It's
Do you not have your proper microphone?
I do. It just sucks. I'm gonna be getting rid of it as soon as I
I thought
get.
that only happened when you were either far away or low on battery.
Usually that's only when it happens. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's just going out completely. Elder Scrolls
Timeline,
Online sounds like a good
Darkseid.
plan. It does.
Yep. Screw you, Xbox. Screw you, PlayStation. I've got my computer and it can run Elder Scrolls Online. I'll see you in a year.
I
Or
got
two.
my
Yeah,
computer
ditto.
and it can run it on the lowest graphics settings. I can do it.
He can do it, so can I. You can do it too. Let's continue this pimping thing. Everybody say fuck you to Sony and Xbox and go get Elder Scrolls Online. Support
I
Bethesda.
like the Xbox.
Indy,
Yeah.
you're not going along with the whole crowd mentality thing I'm trying to start here.
Don't anger Robot
Except
Dart.
you're a robot, so I can't. You're a robot.
Yeah.
No, and no one,
You
no
serve
Elder
the
Scrolls,
human race. Shut the hell up.
no Elder Scrolls experience would be complete without a Mr. Fusion custom computer. So order yours today.
Oh yeah.
Robot Dark demands it.
Yes, yes. This is just a forewarning. Skynet's about to go live, and the robots will take over. So this is just phase 1 of that. But yes, you have to have a very good rig. Well, no, actually, not
do
really,
I?
because I've been told that their graphic settings are going to be very similar to WoW in that you can play
yeah.
them at minimum settings and still have a pretty good experience from a graphic standpoint. So
That's how it was for me. I think it was more the internet at that specific moment, but overall, I could see everything pretty well.
you know, I think the only problem is that I just my fear is that the pinging on it's going to be high. So if you have very weak internet, like Jack does, you know, Shadow, where he's got like 0.9 megabytes.
That's just a sad story.
That
anyway.
is every time I see that on his journal. Like I just remember looking at that on his journal. It just made me sad. It really did.
It's like no one deserves to have internet that slow.
No.
This is the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like no one should have to deal with that.
You know, like India always rags on us Americans about our
America!
our retarded universal health care. But the real atrocity
yeah.
is there are Americans that have under 1 megabyte up and down internet. That's sad. That's
Yes,
sad.
there are Americans that have shitty internet.
I mean,
this is a catastrophe.
I mean,
we need
How did they,
to raise
What
awareness
about
stream
about this.
porn?
I'm
That's the
falling
big
into that
thing.
category
How about
right
phone
now,
data?
sadly.
Shitty
How
internet
about your
syndrome.
phones?
Our
Guys?
phones? What about them?
Yeah, how much data do you have?
I don't use data on my phone. I don't.
I have 10 gigs.
I have mine set up to attach to Wi-Fi everywhere I'm at, except for like retail places. I do not latch onto theirs. But if I'm at home, at the office, it jumps onto the Wi-Fi. I don't want to use the data on the phone, just because I don't feel like it. I know all the carriers here, they throttle after 2 gigabytes. So
Yeah, I have 2 gigs, and usually, I mean, you can get 6 gigabyte plans in Canada now with certain carriers, and that's fucking stupid.
that is.
Why would you need 6 gigs of data? If you're at that point,
I've got 10 gigs.
Do you have 10 gigs on your phone? Who do you have? Sprint?
really?
I've got Verizon.
How much of that do you use up a month?
It's not bad.
Seriously,
How
do
much
you
does
at
he
least
use a
do
month?
you,
Seriously,
you
though.
at least use 5 of that? Half of it?
Well, not right now because I'm training for my job.
Uh-huh.
But before, when I was
Yeah,
at my
you
old
used
job,
to.
and I was on the internet all day, I used a hell of a lot of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, when RT didn't explode after 2 posts at the same time.
Ugh, yes. Oh my God, all these site bugs. Even they at first the mobile version, was I could use my phone and not suffer
Yeah.
these horrible
It was like
things.
the saving
and,
grace. Like, you didn't have to worry about it.
and now it's like nothing is exempt from posts being deleted and the time travel and everything else. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why Rooster Teeth? Why? Just
Yeah.
fix your shit, please fix it. It's driving me
used to only-
crazy.
You'll figure it out.
Like posting directly after another, and that would only happen like on the computer when I had like a 1-word answer. That was at least a little bit more reasonable. If it was like 1-word bam, 1-word bam, for some of the like 1-word game things.
Very true.
I'll be happy when they finally update whatever it is they're planning on updating, and all of this craziness will go away. I want my old Rooster Teeth back.
Dark, it goes away so everyone floods back at the same time.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
And
Is that
crashes it
with
again.
the new, everyone's going to be, they're going to say the new code is live, and the site's going to be slower than before, and it's not going to be because the code sucks. It's because everyone's going to be on the site. That's why.
It's gonna be like, finally, it's back, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's so slow.
You know,
That'd be
'cause
so interesting to be able to see if people are online and all those other things that we used to be able to do.
yeah.
I am
I
actually
miss
going
that.
to rue the day those updates come, because everyone's just going to complain. It's going to
Well,
be like 20
Aren't you
journals
the
in a
negative
row
Nancy?
Well, no, but you know.
Yeah,
how
I
people
know.
have
People are
been.
gonna
Every other
somehow
day,
find
there's a new
problems with
journal of
everything.
somebody complaining about how they're so offended that the site's changing.
And do people just want to have something to complain about just for the sake of
I
complaining?
know.
Yeah,
It's so
that's all.
stupid.
They can-
It bothers me.
They can
It
all
really
the
does.
anybody that okay for anyone listening to this, if you see anybody complaining about the site updates in the near future, whenever it happens, be sure you give them a nice comment saying "Go choke on a dick," and maybe do the world a favor and die, because we don't need your shit. Just go away.
It would be optimal if they die while choking on said dick. We don't want to.
Yeah.
Let's not have
Yeah.
2 steps. Let's just narrow it down to 1 step. So.
Make it easy. Even they can't mess it up. You
Yeah.
know, just shove it so far
You
down the
don't
throat you
mean
can't
to be
breathe.
a negative
There you
Nancy,
go.
But you know, it's just I just anticipate the
Well,
worst. out of
it's
people.
gonna happen, and you know the thing is that
Yeah.
the first day that they release the new code goes live. It's like I said, it's gonna be slow because everyone's gonna flood back onto the site. Because if you've noticed lately, there aren't as many journals popping up as there used to be, and the threads aren't as hopping as they used to be, so to speak. So I think
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are kind of fed up with just the way the bugs on the site these days, and I think once everybody jumps back on, they're gonna complain. It'll be fine after that.
Yeah.
So, but hey, you know what?
Sometimes it has to get worse before.
Well,
it
you know
gets
what? They're
better,
getting their mods
so.
back, so they can just shut up. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
finally
I can't
quit
wait
complaining
till
about
everybody
that.
shuts up about that.
That was the only really big complaint I had was I love my mods and they've been here. I've been on the site for 7 years and I've had the mods system ever since the beginning, and like that's one thing that holds it like so far above other places like Facebook. It's like you can give and they're adding a +1. What the fuck? Finally, I've been wanting one of those for all 7 years that I've been on this site, and I'm finally going to get it. I'm so excited. So I went from just being, okay, I'm a little sad that they're taking away my mod system to, oh, I'm so happy. I can't wait for these updates because it's just going to improve everything, and we're going to keep the mods. Like,
I'm curious. How does one find out their member number? What number that they were?
I have no idea.
I don't.
The reason why is because my 9-year anniversary was a few weeks ago on the 4th, and well, you
Really?
know, we
Good
were
for you.
the first wave of emails that went out. If you look, a lot of people did sign up on the on 1044. So I'm kind of curious where I'm at in terms of like member numbers, because you know Gus is like member number 1 and Bernie's member number 2. There's a way you can find out. I just don't know how. So I'm curious if
You
anybody-
can't do that on like the sponsor whatever's.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. No, it's not one of the settings on there.
No. So, but I was just curious if anyone happened to know. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, I have a weird bit of trivia to share with you guys.
Ask
I was
away.
just
Okay.
I was just scratching my stomach, and it reminded
Okay.
me. Well, this is
Okay.
relevant. I was scratching my stomach, and
Oh, okay.
I have a mole on my stomach, and
Okay.
its particular
Okay.
location. I recently discovered that 1 out of 8 men and 1 out of like 16 women, or 1 out of 12 women, it's a much higher number for women, have a third nipple. And on most people, it's just mistaken as a mole. But when you're a baby and you're developing in your mother's womb, the nipples and milk ducts and everything, there's these lines that go from your armpit down to your groin that are considered like milk ducts. It's universal for all mammalian species. It just kind of happens in development. That's before either the gonads start to develop. So that's why men have nipples. And like during that process, like you can also form nipples farther down and farther up your torso than just where they're supposed to
So
be.
kind of like teats on a dog or a cat.
Yeah, and
Alrighty.
I was watching a thing on one of the Discovery Channel's channels about this, and I'm like, holy shit, that's fascinating. And then I'm like, I've got a mole on my stomach that is kind of obvious. I'm like, I wonder. And like I was looking at the drawings of where the milk ducts run along your body. I'm like, that actually kind of falls along there. It's a little farther down than it is on most people for like another nipple, but this little curious mole I've got on my stomach could possibly be a third nipple. And then even farther down on my stomach, I have this tiny little speck that could be a fourth nipple. So I'm like, that's kind of neat. One in every 8. That's like 1 in every 8 men have a third or more nipples. And
You should go on Girls Gone Wild.
And like I just thought that was kind of neat. Well, they're completely worthless. However, this is something else I learned too. That when hormones are going wonky, like when you're first born and your testosterone level is not incredibly high, male infants have been known to produce milk for like a very short period of time. And the same can be true with men with really low testosterone levels. Once you get up into like your 70s or 80s, it is then possible for men to produce milk again, because all that shit in there, that the milk ducts and everything, are there. It's just the high levels of testosterone that turn them off. I'm like, I had no idea that that's how my body worked. I was just kind of blown away. I just kind of sat there like, I really don't know. I really don't know anything about my own body. Like, holy shit.
I had to actually look down my shirt to make sure that I just had a set of 2.
Yeah, so
everything
Google
check out all right?
Yeah, everything's
Okay,
fine.
making
Everything's
sure.
good.
All
Yeah,
right.
if you're wanting to like look at pictures and stuff, Google superfluous nipples.
Why don't you send me some pics?
Because it's easier to Google it.
Yeah.
But
who needs Google it?
Like, if you can find a link on the Wikipedia about superfluous nipples, and there's actually several well-known celebrities that also have third nipples, and there's pictures of them to show it. Zach, what's his face, is one of them. Zach Efron.
I thought you were going to say Zach from the site.
No. I said celebrities, not internet
Well,
celebrities.
he is kind of a celebrity now, seeing as he's a site. What is he now? A modman?
Admin? Or, no, he's, I think...
Zach? He's a forum mod.
Oh, you know who else is a forum mod now?
Who is that?
Your mother.
Ooh.
No, she's not a forum mod.
Aw, that makes you sad. Okay,
She's
yes,
just
go ahead.
She's just an optometrist girlfriend. Fuck, now you've made me forget who it was. Hold on.
Indie derail.
That was pretty sweet. Nice job.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's slick there. He's always posting in the forum thread, usually towards morning. Zach, yeah, never mind.
That's what we're talking about.
My homie.
This is the same one.
Yeah, so he has the power of authority on the site now.
Authorita.
Yes, so he can throw down the ban hammer. So be nice to him.
Indeed.
I did notice a couple threads had a bit more regulated. It's kind of nice.
You're saying that Zach's doing?
Yes.
Have we had Zach on this podcast?
No, we
yet?
have not.
I think we
No.
tried to, but he wasn't available on the times that we asked. I mean, we still can. I still have. It'd be funny. Oh, he's online.
We're talking about you, Zach, on the podcast that is associated with the thread that you're posting in.
That you're an admin of, which means you have authority to join us, and I don't know. I've
That's
got
right.
nothing.
If he's the mod of the forum thread, he should be on the podcast.
That would be cool.
And
He'll give us like
if-
weekly updates of what's going on the forum thread.
we're in the podcast, and we are the forum.
Uh-oh, they've taken over.
He can be like the weather for us. He can do our weather section or something.
He
So
can
whenever
do
It's like-
whenever we upgrade to doing like 4 video screens at once.
There you go.
We'll just
Zach
switch
can be
over.
our bodyguard. Since he's the forum mod, he's like our bodyguard. So he keeps us safe from the asses.
Yeah, when we're doing our panel, all the time, these people that'll attack us.
It's like we don't need any Guardians. We've got Zach.
Yeah.
He's all the protection we need. He's our forum mod.
Fusion, if you do end up being a Guardian again, will you be the Guardian for our panel?
Yes, of course.
He's got to be in the panel. He can't be Guardian.
But I can throw people
Well-
out off from the stage. I'm that skilled.
Yeah, you could be both. You could be a Guardian and be, member of the panel and be like.
I'll just be like,
"Bitch,
excuse me a
step
sec,
down."
put my mic down and run down there and throw someone out. Actually, the voice worked because I remember there were a couple kids acting like jackasses, and I just told them, cut the shit or you're going to leave. Yeah, okay. Where's your badge?
Used your big boy voice.
Yeah. Where's your badge?
very
They threw
proud.
a badge at me. Okay. You can go in. So, man, we are at an hour and 20 minutes already.
Really?
1 hour and 15.
And sadly, the stream has missed. Hopefully, it's just a one-time glitch up. I think I know an easy fix, but I'd have to wait until.
You've been
I
downloading,
could
downloading
reset
way
stuff.
too much
Did we
porn.
lose the stream again?
Yeah. Well,
No,
because
the
lost the
stream's been
Twitch
down
stream?
ever since Nobod left.
nobody had the stream.
Oh, that fucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Nobod, fuck you. Even when you're gone, you're pissing me off. I love
He
you.
has that ability.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time to wrap this thing up then.
Sure.
Is it?
You want to go?
Well,
a
we
little
could
longer?
keep on going. I mean, Indy's only been here for like the last 20 minutes, so.
No, it's.
I have the stamina.
Do
I
you-
can keep going.
Yeah, Indy.
Alright, cool.
Please
I
tell
let
us
me
how.
go crack a beer first, but yeah.
I'm on my third one already, Indy. Get with the program.
Yeah, speed up, child.
Oh yes, okay. Start drinking.
Speed up,
Fine.
child.
Chug, chug,
Yeah, that's
chug.
what I was just about to say.
Ray, are you still up for a little?
Come
Are
on,
you
I'm
up
a
for an
white girl.
extended
This isn't-
version,
this
or are
isn't
you
really-
too busy?
It's fine.
Or
Yeah.
already fainted.
I think were those your first words for the whole podcast? Because I know I didn't get to introduce everybody like normal,
No.
and usually you kind of
Yeah.
giggle or something. Have you even said anything this podcast?
Don't know.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Well, there she was. If you didn't know, Ray has been here the whole time,
Here.
just kind of lurking in the background like a ninja.
She's like the Watcher, Uatu, in the Marvel comic universe. She's
very
only
curious. The
here
Watchmen?
for major events.
Yep. Like, who watches The Watchmen? No one knows, but who watches the Forum Thread podcast members? It's Ray.
She's our silent bodyguard.
She's
Super
there,
Ray.
always watching, always protecting, making sure that we don't get in too much trouble.
Totally.
Okay, so this we talked earlier about the Days of Future Past trailer. Did anybody see the Captain America Winter Soldier trailer? Just curious.
I have not. I didn't even know that was released.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's tying into
Well-
Phase 2 of Marvel. That's gonna lead up to Avengers 2.
Yeah. That's
Is
gonna be
that
great.
the second Captain America movie?
Yeah, it's called
Yes,
Captain America:
yes.
The Winter Soldier, and
Okay.
Uh,
I didn't really like the first Captain America movie.
I
I
haven't
thought it was
seen
really
it.
boring.
this one I'm told is more of like a political mixed in with the action, like a political thriller.
The political?
Basically, the villain in it is called the Winter Soldier. He's a former Russian spy, and he has a very tied past to Captain America. So, if you've never read the comic books, I don't want to spoil it, but it's really good. The stories are really good. But anyway, this one looks like it's gonna be better than the first Captain America. Thor: The Dark World comes out, I think, next week.
I am excited about this
Yeah.
a lot.
You know why I'm excited for Thor?
Why?
Because apparently the ending Easter egg is going to have a tie-in to the movie I'm dying for next year, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wait, what's that?
Oh, I've heard, whispers of Guardians of the
What
Galaxy.
is that?
You have no idea what it is, Chaos, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much Marvel Comics version of Star Wars. It's just a group of like aliens and humans. They're deep space and they're like not pirates, but kind of like mercenaries, and they go out there and they go on adventures in outer space on other planets across the galaxy, and they save. Their job is to save the universe. That's their Guardians of the Galaxy. And the main character.
How does that tie in with Loki? Thor.
Well, because
I guess you're just gonna have to wait and find out now,
well,
aren't you?
did you remember the bad guy that was the Easter egg at the end of the Avengers movie?
I still haven't seen the Avengers movie.
What? Oh,
Neither have I.
okay. Never mind. I won't. I don't want to spoil it. You guys gotta watch the movie. It's good. It's entertaining.
I tried to buy it from Best Buy when it first came out, but they were completely sold out, and I've been distracted by all these other TV shows that I've wanted to watch.
Speaking
it's
of,
not my fault.
Speaking of, how far did you get into Breaking Bad before you had to start work?
I've finished the first season.
Okay, so you never got past season 2 then. Okay.
No, it's one of those shows like when I'm watching it, I'm totally into it, but like when I'm not watching it, it's like I don't really want to watch it. It's stressful to watch.
It's kind of like 24. 24 is like that.
Yeah, it's like once it's on, I can't look away from it, but it's like in between, I'm like, do I really want to watch Breaking Bad? It's such a stressful show to watch, but it's so good, but it's so stressful. It's one of those weird shows.
Okay, I didn't know.
It is really good though. I intend on finishing it at some point in time. It's just like I need to be in the right mood.
Well, you can like light some candles, open a bottle of wine, and just. I'm kidding. It's not like that.
How do you guys feel about anime?
I like anime.
Anime's okay.
God damn! Oh fuck! No! Oh. Sorry, I'm playing League.
Wait, Ken's not here right now. I can't fuck him. So
No, I'm sorry. I'm playing League. Anyways, how do you guys feel about anime?
I like anime.
It's okay. I like it.
It's okay.
Well, I'm just not really,
It really depends on which one, because
Yeah.
the wide range, I'll like some, and others I'll just be like,
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
the term anime it's a broad term now.
oh yeah, very broad.
Okay. Yeah, well, within the umbrella term anime, what would you watch?
Okay.
When you think anime, what's your favorite?
I liked
If you say Dragon Ball, you're go home.
Akira.
No.
I liked
Okay, good.
I liked
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist. I
Yes.
liked Fruits Basket. I liked there's this weird show. I cannot remember what it was called now. I watched it on Netflix. Where men and women were. It takes place in outer space, and men colonize one planet, women colonize another, and like they were like enemies. But something had happened where like they used to live together, but they no longer like there was some sort of political thing that divided the two
How
sexes.
do they,
divorce.
How do they continue?
It was 2
living?
seasons, and it was weird. Oh, because they live in outer space. It's the future, so they can clone, so they don't need sex.
Okay.
I beg to differ on that one.
So
Everybody needs
yeah,
sex.
so it was a really
You
weird
ain't got
premise,
to reproduce
and,
and enjoy sex.
and so the main character is this youngerish guy who gets kidnapped by a bunch of female pirates and is held prisoner there, and like they're afraid they're going to catch some sort of weird like disease or something just by being around him, and then slowly like gains acceptance on the ship and everything, and they uncover the past of how they all used to. How the two sexes actually used to live together, which is a completely like mind-blowing idea for the two of them because their two sexes are at war with one another. But it was really weird, and I don't know what made me start watching it. And it was just one of those things like I kind of want to watch something, but I don't know what I want to watch, and
So
that
you
kind of
just
came
put
up in the
it on
queue.
the spin wheel, and then watch
It came up in the thing, like since I had watched several other animes, it says, you may enjoy this, and it gave me like a 3.5-star rating of what it thought I would like. I'm like, okay, this seems really odd. I'll watch the first episode. Why not? And like, it was really strange, but it was strange in a really charming sort of way. So I wound up watching both seasons.
See,
Did it actually have a good ending? Like,
Yeah.
Or did it just like kind of not? Okay,
No.
it's done.
No, it had a satisfying ending.
Okay.
It didn't just
so it
stop.
actually,
like-
it actually, and they didn't. It wasn't the not good enough anime. Just did not run out of
Yeah.
funding. That
No,
sort
it
of
wasn't like Fruits Basket, which just kind of ended when it had so much more to do, which made me sad.
Vandriad, that's the name of it.
Vandred,
Vandred.
yes. It's very strange, but I do recommend it if you're looking for something left of the middle that's entertaining to watch and only slightly annoying. Go for it. It is funny.
Slightly.
Vandriad,
Oh,
it
boy.
only aired from 2000 to 2001. So
I didn't realize it was that old. Yeah.
I come from the old guard, of course, and I love Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Appleseed. There was one called Devilman.
I have Appleseed. That
Appleseed?
is really good.
Devilman. Have you ever watched Devilman?
I did not watch Devilman. No.
Is somebody snoring?
My cat. He's purring
Oh,
above
okay.
the mic.
Are you just like holding your cat up to the microphone like?
Alrighty then.
Start purring now.
Well, you don't have to tell him. He's like an on. You pet him once, and it's like turning on a light switch, and it'll just keep going. Even when you're not even paying attention to it, it's kind of funny.
There's this other anime that I watched that I really enjoyed. It's completely sexist, but in a really funny sort of way. It's about
It's sexist, but it's okay because you're a guy.
It's about this
Yeah.
kid that goes to a school for monsters, and because his parents are too broke to put him into a proper college, so it's like a school for monsters, and I cannot remember what this show is called, but he winds up meeting this girl who is a vampire, and she's like constantly wanting to drink his blood. And it's one of those harem animes where for some reason he just gets surrounded by all these chicks with really big tits that like are into him, but he's like, I'm not really into any of you except for the vampire chick, which he kind of has feelings for, but like it's
And she
it's
has
weird.
no
Like,
tits, apparently.
No,
Rosario
she has-
plus vampire.
Yes, that's the one. I'm glad you've got
Oh,
the
I know
Google
that
machine
one.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious to watch. I consider it sexist just because like you have all these chicks kind of swooning around this one guy, and like he doesn't really treat them particularly well because he doesn't really have those feelings for them. But like just watching their dynamics and everything, it is. I almost peed myself laughing on a couple episodes. It was just so funny.
Well, it's based off of
literally
an
laughed
original
my-
Japanese manga, so
I laughed
Yeah.
myself to tears. It's really funny.
most of those mangas are very sexist. So
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, it is sexist, but it is hilarious at the same time. So if you're not gonna be offended by that, I can recommend it only for its comedic value. Or if you're a lesbian and you like to look at giant tits, it's also.
hey, I don't
That-
have
that
to
would
be a
be
lesbian
bonus.
to look at giant tits. Come on now.
Fine, I guess I'll watch it.
And let's see, there's a couple others that I've watched, but those are like the most. There's this other one where there's this. It's a reverse. This one's a reverse harem now, where you have this chick who goes to this really preppy high school for rich kids, and she joins the it's something host club. The name of it's
Oron High School Host
Oron
Club.
High School
That
Host
one.
Club. Yes,
Oron, yeah.
and
Or however you pronounce it, I'm not sure.
yeah. And that was another one that Netflix said, you probably like this. And I'm like, why would I like an anime about a high school? But I'm like, well, Netflix was pretty good about the Van Dread series and about the Fruits Basket series, so who am I to
Those were the
argue?
gruesome round,
So,
yeah.
if it thinks I'm going to like it, okay, I'll give it a try.
They're
And,
watching you.
I mean,
It
what
was-
is it? I mean, is there action or is it just like an anime version of like Degrassi Junior High?
It's like, if you can think of it this way, Oron High School, from what I understand, it's basically just like a bunch of boys who work at a host club. And in Japan, host clubs are basically, well, clubs that you can go to where you can hire people to escort you and to simulate, dating, essentially.
yeah, it's like a
And
male
they
escort
have that
service.
in a high school.
But
Yeah.
where instead of having sex, so they just kind of have these casual dates with these girls, and they're all. As the series goes on, you realize it's actually a business venture by one of the older host club members to try and one up his own father, who like he doesn't really have like a good relationship with. But like the main character for like the entire first episode, none of them know that she is a girl because she dresses really frumpy like.
Yeah.
And like it has this whole light bulb thing as each member realizes, wait a minute, you're not a guy. And so she continues to pretend to be one of the guys in this host club, even though she's a female. And that's kind of the whole joke of the whole thing, where she's pretending to be this guy, but and one of the other characters like has fights with his own feelings for her. At first he's like, yeah, he's just a cool dude, and then he realizes that she's a chick, and he's really shocked and kind of like almost like doesn't want anything to do with her because like he's got these feels going for her, and eventually he's just kind of like, yeah, I really like her, and he gets super jealous of anybody that tries to spend time with her. It's a good show. I highly recommend that to anybody. It's just an all-around really good show. It's I think it was originally targeted for a younger audience, but I really enjoyed it. Its characters are very well developed and they're very complex, and that's what I like to watch shows for. It's for the character interaction, and this had a lot.
Oh
of it.
yeah.
I find I can't watch a lot of anime. Like, I could never watch Dragon Ball growing up.
Oh no, it just sucks. It's just horrible.
It's really.
You have a bunch of
overrated.
hyper masculine characters just going "Rah!"
That's
at
not
each
how the
other.
original Dragon Ball was.
Sure, you can.
No, that's not how the original
Z.
Dragon Ball.
That's there's a massive
That's
difference
literally how it
between
went.
Z. and
Right, the original Dragon Ball is very violent too, but I mean, then again, a lot of the American versions of, like, did you know Voltron, the five-lion Voltron from the '80s that I grew up with? Did you know that the original Japanese version of it was very violent, the cartoon? Oh, I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
No
there was
way.
death constantly. There was death, gore. Like people would be gored. Like on, that. I mean, they would. Just if you go to Google and type in, violent violent Voltron, you'd be shocked and see how they brought it over to the U.S. and everyone thought it was just a safe, happy version, and the original version in Japan was just really violent.
Well, that's
Wow,
that's
cool.
one of the things I really respect about anime is that it's not afraid to get dirty and it's not afraid to get violent, and that way it's much more realistic.
And that way it's hentai.
Yeah, it's a much it's a much more true art form, I would say, where in the United States people associate cartoons with children.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's not true with other cultures, especially in Japan, where it's a respectable medium for storytelling, no matter what your age is. And that's one of the reasons why anime is
Yes.
so popular in the United States, because it may be a cartoon, but it's not just it's not just for children.
There
it
should
is
be
for an
a
older
greater
audience.
line in between the stuff, not just, oh, you have to watch live action shows just because live action automatically means adult. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then in the United, also you have shows like The Simpsons or Family Guy or American Dad, but those are all kind of the same. They're the same thing. It's like it's an animated comedy.
Yeah,
but,
there's no actual
Satire.
shows with like
I wouldn't
true
call it
story
comedy
and-
so much
and
as satire.
stuff like
satire, yeah.
That's what it is,
But it's
yeah.
it's the only reason it exists though is because it's supposed to make people laugh, and so that's why I would just call it a comedy. But it's a comedy satire.
I guess, yeah.
But they're all kind of the same thing, and yeah, I can Family Guy and American Dad for what they are in small doses, but they're just so shallow and meaningless and interchangeable. That's one of the reasons why I do when I find an anime that I can really appreciate. I'll just sit there and I'll watch the shit out of it, just marathon the whole thing, and like. Because it's good storytelling, and you can do things with animation that you cannot do in real life, or it will cost a fortune to do in real life. And I think that Americans should not be so narrow-minded about what they think animation should be for. And we would be a lot better for it. We would be able to have these stories told to us without really expensive computer animation. And it would be awesome. It would be fantastic.
I think that's slightly naive.
It is slightly naive,
Just
but
because
my drunken
just
self
because
is slightly
it's Japanese,
naive.
Or just because it's anime doesn't mean it's intrinsically better.
No,
of
no, no, no.
course,
I'm
there's-
not saying that at
There's
all.
definitely good and bad animes.
I'm saying the
I
ones
mean, there's
that
a lot
I
of
like.
shitty anime out there, like really bad anime out there.
Well, yeah, those
And
don't
it
count.
makes no difference
Those
if
don't
it's anime or if it's American animation.
I'm talking about the animes that I like. I'm not talking about all the other animes.
Oh no,
They
I
can,
can tell you.
Oh,
You're straight.
they can go.
Alright.
They can go along with those other people on Rooster Teeth and choke on a dick.
Okay, so today we've learned that both Rooster Teeth community members and anime need to choke on dick and die.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how we
Yeah.
can surmise what we've learned.
And it's
today.
gonna go on their tombstone, with a little picture of a cartoon cock.
Choked on dick.
That would really suck dying that way.
Literally.
I mean,
Just
no pun
from-
intended, right? I mean,
yeah, I was hoping you'd catch
so,
that.
You're right. It would. Well, it's better to go that way than like die of like I don't know, like getting a flesh-eating bacteria, right?
Yeah, asphyxiation
no,
is
like-
relatively quick compared to flesh-eating
Dying
bacteria.
with a dick down your throat? Really? Is that how you
Well, at
want
least
to
you go down like a
Uh,
champ, right?
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. See? See? I like your
Oh.
mindset. Good positive thinking.
Nice. Yeah.
There are worse ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Many. Okay, we're at an hour and a half now, and I think it's time
Yes,
for me
we are.
to go do other things, like eat dinner.
Who needs
Alright.
to eat?
I need to eat, dude. I'm hungry.
He's starving to death.
Yeah, I'm a growing man, a growing boy. I need to eat.
Alright, everyone. This has been awesome. We will see you same time next week, hopefully without the technical difficulties.
Hopefully.